Dave here. How are you? Today is the 19th of April 2020. I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good week. And that I just read there on the side that Peter's daughter's in hospital. So Peter, all the best from all of the crew here, meaning me and everyone who's in the chat session, I'm sure. Keep us posted as to how she's doing. I don't know what the problem is, but it's irrelevant. But it's no good when someone's crook or part of their family's crook. Now, I'm hoping the stream is coming through well and the sound is all good. Image is okay. This is live, so you can see the chat session is in down here. I have a lot to get through, and if someone could just type in, yes, it's good. Morning all from Daryl. Ian, good evening all. Stephen Warback, nice to see you. Image and sound good. Thanks, David. All right, I've got my list. Today the list is this. Takes me back to when I used to just, write on blocks of wood when I was up on a house frame. So today we've got an image sent in by Nathan Coyle. Someone else sent me some images in during the week. I can't trace them. Can you please send them again to me? I've just, as I say, busy week, and I see them come in and I think it's all great. And then when I try to find them, because I've got 4 or 5 email addresses, Messenger and what have you, I get lost. Please send it back in. Polished brass and revive drawer. So this here, I'm going to, you saw the image on at the beginning of this show where I've got this drawer and beside a drawer that I've already finished doing. I will show you the drawer that I've already finished. So that is Australian cedar and the brass, and you're going to see in a second, of course, we're going to start. I'm going to do that. It takes about 10 minutes to do a drawer. It's easy. Anyone can do it. Okay. Playing the back of the behind at the back. The reason I'm mucking around there is I'm just thinking, should I talk about that when we actually get to it, or should I talk about it now? Look, I'll talk about it. DaveStantonFans@gmail.com. Please, Stephen. It's the one that's in the description box below. Check down through there. My email address is in there. That'll be it. Yeah, I'll talk about that part when we get to it. We're going to drill the mirror supports and fit the drawer unit to it, and then we're going to fit the top, fit those drawer boxes onto the top as well. Greg, watching this while putting final coat of poly on magazine rack for the waiting room. I hope you sanded all of those messages that you'd written on the back of the unit. Sanded them off before you put the poly on. Look, let's switch it over and we're going to get into it straight away. There we go. So here is the drawer, and you can see I've got the old brass handle on it. I'm holding it in my Moxon vise on my bench. I had someone asking if I sell the benches. Yes, I do. In Australia and New Zealand, I sell the benches. I'll make them for you. Elsewhere in the world, plans. That's it. Now this, I've just put on with 2 brass screws. I'll take the screws out because I've been working on these during the week, and I wanted to get it all finished today if I can. Waiting for glue to dry in the cabinet. Good timing, is it? So there's the drawer handle. I might have called it a hinge. I don't know why. But anyway, that's the handle. It's been soaking in vinegar, 1 part vinegar to 2 parts water to dilute it, because vinegar is an acid. Soaked in there for 5 hours. I took it out and then I rinsed it all off a heap, and then I left it soak in water overnight. The next morning I took it out, and this is where it's up to now. But we're going to clean this right at the moment. So how we clean that to look like the one that's down there is I use this stuff. I'm not endorsing them. They don't do anything for me. I buy this stuff. Although I do have some affiliate links in the description box, this is not one of them. I love this stuff. Absolutely love it. U-Butte make this polished reviver. You have to shake it up like crazy, and then you can use a rag, but I prefer to use 4-0 steel wool. And I'm going to pull a little bit off there. And I might even throw a glove or 2 on. Let's see how we go. The secret with these things, don't try and blow them up. Put them in with a dry hand. If your hands are dry, they slide straight in. Not a problem. As soon as you get some moisture on your hand, well then you're going to be in trouble. Your hand will not, it'll catch on the nitrile gloves and you'll be cooked. You won't get them on. They'll tear all over the place. There we go. Move the keyboard back a little bit. Give it another shake. Stop making a tea box out of recycled silky oak to watch. I feel very privileged. So there we go. I'm going to give it a quick rub just to take the dirt off the centre there. And you can see the dirt on there already. Maybe not. And a bit of this stuff. You watch how this works. Now don't be scared of going over the spots that have got the stuff built up on it. Because this is a cleaner and also it lays down new wax at the same time. Okay, that's looking pretty good. See these disappearing? I'm going to work on this section along the edge here. That's a real horrible spot. Now the steel wool is going to gunk up as well, so just keep on moving it around. Because if it's gunked up, it's not going to cut. It's like sandpaper that's full of sawdust and can't cut anymore. Are you starting to see a difference? You need a tattoo gun, Dave. What for? Okay, this part here, you watch this. And you can go across the grain. It's not going to worry it. This is 4-0 steel wool. And I highly recommend it. Not stuff that's got soap in it. Go across the back. Well, this is the top of the drawer. As I said, this is going to take about 10 minutes. If I go any longer, I'll be surprised. That's this part and also the brass handle. The top. Was filthy. That part's done. I'm going to throw that to the side, put the lid on. Now, they say if it's really bad to do it twice. So now I've got an old rag. This is a microfiber cloth that I've been using for this. I'm going to get the bulk of the stuff off. Oh, I better click this. Hold on a second. Where's my phone? I forgot to do the Instagram post. Give me a sec. Come on, you can do it. Even with these gloves, it still works. Share. Done. Okay. A bit slack. Now with the dirty rag, it's not going to show much of a shine at this stage. But you wait till I go over it with a clean rag. I love it. This is just buffing it up. As I say, this is an antique that's been in a family for so many years. And as it aged, no one really noticed. They thought, oh yeah, it was supposed to look really dark like that. But rubbish is what I say. This is such a difference. U-Butte Polish Reviver is what it's called, Dave. Just caught your comment out of the corner of my eye. Right. Take it out of the Moxon. and you can have a look. Isn't that a difference? That's just one coat. I could go over it again, and it's come up with a real nice satin luster. It's absolutely beautiful. Brad, this is a live stream at 0.9 of a megabit upload, so it is going to be slow, yes. Rotate and around. Come on. There we go. Out she comes. Move that to the side. I'm going to do another little way of attaching that to here. Now we're going to do over there. So I shall move the video camera around. Hopefully it's going to get to the Pro Edge a little bit better than that. I'm going to take it down on its legs. Sorry about this. Yeah, so the video quality is not brilliant, Brad, but it's all we have at the moment to be able to deal with. There we go. There's the buff. Excellent. Isn't it amazing? Okay, so now I'm going to take this guy over to the Sorby Pro Edge and clean it up there. I'm going to switch the specs because I really do like to be able to see closer. I'm a sorry case. All right, now I can't see what's happening with you guys there, but this is the brass handle. As I say, it's been in vinegar for a few hours, vinegar and water mix, and then out, and then rinsed, left to soak overnight in water, then dried off, and this is how it is now. Put these on, even though it's not really all that bad. I'm going to use the rouge. This is the Flex Cut rouge that I've been using. I find it a little bit better than the Veritas one. I don't know why. You can see on the buff wheel it's got traces of copper. I'm probably talking too loud again. Put a bit of rouge on. For people who don't know, that's just a fine polish. And let's see how we go. Doesn't take long. So the soak got rid of most of the stuff, most of the hard stuff for me. What do you think? Other side, a bit more rouge. Whoop, nearly caught it. Looking for an easy spot to get in there. What I do sometimes is I come around to this side on the upstroke. Let's work on the handle itself. So that it's important to keep dosing it up with the rouge. Got a spider running around on my shirt. I just caught him out of the corner of my eye. So if you were thinking of getting one of these machines and you're kind of tossing up between other ones, this is one massive advantage of this thing. I love it. Look at that, how cool is that? Now I need to clean into there as well. This is where I've got to be a bit selective about where I'm putting it. And we need to do this a bit more here. I'm going to come around to this side, behind the camera, and try and work it in there. See that? Don't worry about grabbing now and then, just as long as you've got a hold of it, you should be okay. I would like to get it down in there, but I may not have time during the show. I might take it off after the show and just finish it off. That's nearly got it. That's going to do me. Switch cameras for a second, because I know a lot of people don't like looking at me wandering around. There we go. I'll bring this one back over because we need it in a minute. All right. So did you like that? I'll take these off. How nice is that? And geez, spider, he's all over the place. So I can pop that to the side. I'm just moving things out of the way that we won't be using right at the moment. Now the next step to putting this onto the drawer, and I've lost the drawer. Of course I have. You guys can probably see it. Oh, there it is. I'm an idiot. Right there. Okay. So it's going to go on there. And I'm not going to bother screwing it on right at the moment. But do you like that? Okay. Okay, what is the purpose of the aluminium wheel with holes in the rear of the machine? Aluminium wheel with holes in the rear of the machine. I think it's the setting position for the different angles for the grinder, for the belt. Let me see what else we got here. You can put the polishing wheel on a bench grinder. Okay, yep, of course you can. So we've finished that part. The next thing I want to do is move these things back a little. I was going to look for the screws, for these tiny, tiny, tiny little brass screws that hold it on. Let me see if I can get it so you can see it. They're still filthy. I use this stuff. So what I do is I've got some old sponge rubber and I put the auto sole straight onto it. Then I hold the screw and I spin her around on it. Doesn't take long. Super clean. And then I give it a rub on this, but not the same stuff that I'm using for the polish reviver on the timber. I have another rag that I use for metal polishing. It's pretty important. Okay, just returning from Josco's replacement, one bent, one pack. All right, thank you, Elvis. Excellent. Move these things back a little further, as I was saying. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, when I finish moving all of these out of the way, I've got a larger thing that I'm going to bring up onto the bench, that's all. I'm going to show you how out of square the back panel is. Now, this is the thing I was talking about earlier. So this is the actual top that I've rebuilt. Come across here a little bit further. Now over here is the panel that lives under the mirror. There's two boxes. You might be able to see them behind me over here. You can see, yeah, see them? They sit either side on top of the dressing table, and they have the supports that come up to hold the mirror. So this is the base below the mirror. Now, when Arthur's done this, it's got a slight, he hasn't planed this perfectly 90 degrees. So I've got a little square. This little guy here is aluminium. It doesn't damage anything. This is a Seneca square. Check the links. There's links down there in the bottom. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's leaning backwards. Let me bring it up closer for you. One of the great things about this square is it'll stand up pretty well on its own. Now see that? See how it's leaning? That is leaning back. What that's going to do, it's going to hold the mirror box, the mirror supports back a little bit and lift the boxes up off the front. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to undo this and fit it. And this is all hand tools. And this is all pretty cool to do because my bench has got those anti-slip strips on it, which keeps the top nice and safe. Back a little further. Make sure that this is a Turner screwdriver. I love Turner stuff. What a shame they aren't in business anymore. Finished in 1970, 50 years ago. Get that one loose. Get this one loose as well. Don't you love that sound? One of my daughters used to just get a hold of that screwdriver and play with it with the ratchet. This noise. I love it. All mechanical works. All right, I'm going to move this guy out of the way. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. Use the clamps, slide them in. Now, I've had a couple of people ask me again during the week how I use Craig bench clamps on my Stanton bench. I've put a 5/16 T-bolt in there. It's 1 inch, fits on the new ones. The older ones, you've got to actually cut it. There you go. Morning all, been watching for 10 minutes, just realised you're doing this live. What a treat, the dressing table is taking shape. Indeed it is, Paul. So, I'm going to plane this perfectly 90 degrees to the face. And how I'm going to do that, you know that I'm making a jointer fence for the wooden plane that I've made. Well, I have my Turner number 7 that I'm going to use today, and it's going to be in conjunction with, I'm hoping this is going to work, with the Veritas jointer fence. Just pull that up a little and along to there. I'm going to switch cameras down here so you can see what's happening. There. I'll get it in position so we're all good. There, that's pretty good. And there we go. All right, your dad's still got that blue screwdriver, has he? All right, so here we go. This is the jointer fence, 2 rare earth magnets on the inside. This is the number 7. Isn't it a beautiful plane? Ha ha ha. All right, so it goes on. I'll show you down here at this camera. It goes on near the front. Hear that? Those 2 magnets locking on. And as I pull it back, see this pin here? It's going to push up against the plane body. There we go. Now that is going to make it perfectly 90 degrees. Isn't that beautiful? You watch this. Look, I'm even going to show you nice and close up. You can see the difference in the colour from where it's done its first pass. Put it back so that we've got it there. Is that about it? Yep, close enough. Okay, here we go. Oh, I lifted the plane a little bit, right in the centre. And one more pass. Look at that. And this, perfect now. I can prove that. I'm putting things down off the edge here. How can I prove it? Well, we'll put the square on it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's no rock. No rock in that square whatsoever. There we go. Isn't that a great little square? It doesn't damage anything. I can check the squareness on that jointer plane as well. And if I touch the blade, it's not going to worry it. Not going to worry it whatsoever. As I said, when I find things that I really, really like, I'll give you links. And I want to be a part of it too. Is that slight angle made to be like so that the mirror leans back slightly to make it easier for the user to see self standing up? Okay, no. That was just a stuff up because, as I say, when I put the boxes on, these tenons, David, these tenons here, I'll show you this camera here, might be easier, actually hold the mirror supports at a certain angle, and then the box, I haven't changed anything with the boxes were lifting up at the front. It's just a bit of a stuff up. Now let's put this back on. And let me see, what have we got here? Now I'm thinking I'm going to open the hole up just a little bit. The reason being, when I put it in, oh, maybe I won't. See these two holes here, that one and that one there. These are the holes for this. And it was just keeping it over slightly. So I think I might open it up just a little bit. There's a little bit of movement there. That might work. I'll put them in, and before I finish tightening it up, I'll make sure that I do it correctly. I'll spin the cameras over to the other one again. There. Okay. I'll move this on my bench. I'm just moving one of the supports over to the other side there so I can put it up there and it ain't going anywhere, and then I'll put one of the clamps on. It's the advantage of these cushion strips on the front. It's not going to damage anything. Done. All right, turn the sexy screwdriver the other way. Wonder Arthur tilted it back with the care of the rest of the build. I was thinking that as well, but you know what? I'm going to show you something else. The mirror got to him. Now, I may not be able to fit the mirror today because I've got to change this as well. But if you have a look here, this is the mirror support. Now, if you look hard below it, he's put it in and then he's moved it. And even then, he didn't get it right because this is below the tipping point. When he's put this top section on, the frieze or the flagstaff or whatever you want to call it up the top, it's added extra weight. So he's gone to the center of the mirror but forgot this. So I'm going to sort that out. That's why I can't put this in today. So I cut the brass rods and everything that you can see during the week. And I'm going to bring these up a little further and in a little further so it balances better. It all makes sense. So as I say, he's been meticulous with everything else. It's just these last couple of things. I'm wondering whether he got to the end of the job and thought, stuff it. I don't know. Anyway, I'll put this screw in. One. And in front of that other camera. And we should be perfectly square. Look, I was thinking about all the things that maybe he's done it for this reason, maybe he's done it for that. But when I saw the sides of the mirror, I thought, nah. What have we got happening there? Someone trying to contact me on the phone? Done. Moment of truth. Let's see if it's square. What's it like down there? Whoop. Maybe the screws are holding it slightly, but that's a bit better than before. Have a look at that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Zoom reminder. Okay, so if you're not aware, my patrons and I are going to be having a Zoom meeting after the show finishes, which is in half an hour, I'm hoping. So if you want to be a part of that, this is going to be the inaugural one. If you want to be a part of that, you've got to be a patron. There's links down below, I think, about how to become one of the patrons. And it's just going to be a general chat session, but video, everyone will be on the screen to go in one hit. He may have been under pressure from the site forward. Maybe indeed. All right, so that's done. Now, I'll move this to the side. And the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to work with the drill press in a sec. So this is one of the boxes that lives on the top. So this is a drawer box that goes beside the mirror stand. And I've finished doing all of these. They're just beautiful. So the top, remember this was smashed. I turned it around. I added a piece down the side here that used to be the front and turned it into the back. Created all of these profiles around the top, and then I've cut the top in around the mirror supports. So let's take the drawers out. It's just beautiful. I love this thing. And there's not much to the drawers, is there? And you can see this is the piece that we did last week, and it's sitting there quite well. All right, now, this is the piece that I built. So this is all totally new. Everything here is new. The carving, it's not great, but it does the job. All right, now, what I'm going to do is set this up on here and mark it where the holes are, because I've got to put counterbores in here and here. So I'm going to use about a 3/8 Forstner bit, create the holes. I've already done them on the other one that's over there behind me. You can see it. So it's sitting up nicely. So I'm going to do it on these. But I want to make sure that I don't run into the previous holes. So I'll get a pencil and put a mark here and a mark here as well. I'm going to bring it up to it. You can't see this part, but believe me, it's going to work. There and there. Basically, all I've done is lined up. See on the side here, I've got some pencil marks. One there and one up here. That's why I'm going to use this machine here. Pop that there. I'm probably under the same kind of pressure as Arthur was under the pump to get this done and get it done right. Switch the cameras. Where are we? That'll be that one. Yeah. All right. Move that to there so you can see what's going on. I've got the marks there and there. I've already set this up with the depth stop on it, and the depth out this way is perfect as well. So we'll do this. And this one. I'm lining up with the join on the fences. So you can see those, they're the counterbores. I'm going to drill through the bottom of that. Now why am I doing counterbores? Because these screws aren't long enough to go through and grab. They've got to be in there and grab. That's how they used to do it. They were economizing. All right, so I've got that one for that side. Now I've got to do the other side. So I'm spinning it around. And let's spin that to there. Then you can see a little bit of what I'm up to. Like so. Now the holes, they're already there and there. I don't want to drill into those. So I'm going to go slightly above and put a little mark near the edge, except for clutch pencils don't really like doing this kind of stuff. And a little bit below. And put the close-up specs on. Oh, I can see everyone again. Look at that. Spin this around so I can line it up near the edge, get down closer and say, right, there, and the other one there. So I've got a mark here. Where are we? There. And I've got another mark there. On the dark timber, it's very hard to see. Spin this back around here. Like so. Actually, I might put the camera on the other side and work from there. Then you'll be able to see a little bit easier. There. Now I'm not working over the top of myself. So I'm lining up that point with the join in the fence. And it's pulling it down flat as I approach. And the next one, which is there, I hope. Okay. Other camera, we'll go to the main one for a while, I think. Probably going to be easier. All right, now put that draw box to the side. I've got a drill here with a drill bit in it, which is this is the pilot. I'm going to put a clearance hole in first. And the center of the hole has got basically a center punch in the middle. This is the Forstner Bits guide point right in the top. So I'm just going to go straight into that. And to do that, I'm not too bad at drilling if I line it up with something that's kind of flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tiny little bit on the front, but that's behind the draw box. No one's going to see those tiny little bits of breakout, so it doesn't concern me. Whip that drill out, put the small one back in. I don't know why I'm wearing these gloves still. Maybe because there's a shortage. That's running pretty straight. Beautiful. Now, take them off. You can reuse them, just let them dry out and then turn them inside out again. All right, there we go. Here, 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 and here. Slide the support on. As I say, I've done all the preparation work, cutting it in. Did that during the week because I thought there's no way that I'd be able to do that on the show. We're getting there, we're getting there. Now, follow that down. The reason I'm doing pilot holes, because cedar is very soft, but I'm doing a very small pilot hole because even soft timber can split when you're getting into this kind of area. Move that out of the way and spin around the right way, which it is. Put the old screws. These are the original screws that came out of it. Isn't that a nice sound? Now the other thing I suggest is doing this kind of stuff, put a clamp on it as well. So I'm going to get a parallel clamp because they're nice and friendly. They've got these nice jaws on them. I'm going to put the clamp on from this side so I don't have all of the clamp in my face. And I'm over the draw divider there. And that's pulled it up nicely. And I'm going to do the same on the front as well. Then you're not relying on the screw pulling in at one angle on a corner. And, you know, it's just, it can get messy and you'll end up stripping the thread on the screw. Okay, so I'm clear of all the holes. And that's all nice. So now I know the bottoms are all lined up beautifully. That's all good down the side. See that? That's a nice join there. And this side of the box is also a nice join. So now it's just a matter of put the screws in. I've moved it up along the table a little bit. And the well in my bench works very well to stop things going slidey. Is that going in? Yes, it is. This screw is a little bit narrower. I might try Arthur's old screwdriver. You like that? It's one of his. Okay, in it goes. Oh, beautiful. Put this one in. That's him. Don't force them. That's the main thing. Pilot holes are good, better safe than sorry. Hey Dave, Bessie have a new wide jaw add-ons for their K-bodies, do they? Well, I might have to look into that. I'm kind of working blind under here. This is the exciting part, isn't it? That's in. Move it. I had a chisel here as well, just in case I needed it. I'm going to spin it around. So I'm working away from you. Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure that this goes on properly. Because after the amount of work that I've done with it, I was thinking, no, I don't want to stuff it up. Why are you using the same screws? Because it's an antique, Elvis. I want to keep this as original as possible. Everything is exactly the same. I've reused everything. I've reused these tops, but I've spun them around and worked on them. It's the same piece of timber that was here 80 or 100 years ago. You know, this piece of timber, and this piece of timber, they're the only new things on it. I've reused all the hardware. The handles you've seen, they're all the same, and given a clean up. And I think they've come up well. So we've got 1:45, or just after 22. We're doing well with time. It reminds me of my father and his Yankee push driver drill. Aren't they magic things? All right, there we go. Now it's all one piece. Not thought of clamping like that for normal screws, but then would have done it for every pocket hole I've ever drilled. Yeah, funny how brains work or don't work. Now, one of the other things I've done is I've oiled all the casters on the table. So here's the table around here, and it's traveling beautifully. Now all of these casters are the original. I'll show you. I'm going to get the camera and bring it down here now, I think. There. Tighten that up, spin that around, and then down. I think that might be the best way to do the rest of this. Bring it around a little bit. Now, I wanted to also show you the legs. Now, this leg here, I haven't done anything to. And you may not see it there because it's kind of, this one hasn't been touched. This one, I have. Now, if I can get them both in the screen at the once, so this one here, I've already worked on. So I've gone over it with the Polish Reviver and the 4-0 wool. This one hasn't been touched. This end hasn't been touched. This one has. I've done this end. See how it's alive again? And I've done both the legs at this end. These things are just screaming out for someone to fix them up. So all the wheels, you can see the old-fashioned casters. They're the old metal ones, and now they work beautifully. Let me see if I can get it into shot. Spin beautifully and they rotate. That used to go, it's a horrible noise. And it wouldn't go anywhere you forced it to. You'd have to really shove it to make it go where you wanted. It's just, why we don't get into this kind of stuff, I don't know. So I'm going to switch the cameras again, and possibly I'm going to go to a view that maybe is going to be on its own. Here we go. So I'm out of the picture now. Polish makes a difference. Done versus not done yet. Wish you could find these old screwdrivers when my dad used, when I was a kid. Yep, well, there you go. Tip that up a little, and we're going to put the top on, and I'm going to take it past the back. So that's where that goes. And you can see the colours. Now that I've hit it with a polish reviver, how it's the right colour. This Liberon finishing oil was the right choice. Turn it around to the back. Okay, this side, David. There. You can see where I'm at now. I've got to put the right-hand mirror box on. So it slides over. See, it's got I created a mortise there to go over the tenon in the back. And now the box sits nice and flat. And bring it up to the edge, and that's where it has to go. Now I'm going to put a mark. Well, I'm just going to rest my pencil there. I'm going to measure the distance in. It's probably going to be the easiest way to do this. Use a tape. I've got to come in 12 millimeters. I'm going to drill a couple of holes at 12 mil because I don't know if those holes are going to be right. Let me come in 12. You know what it might do, but they're massive big holes. Let me see, which screws are we going to use? They might be the right ones. Let me have a think. So these screws, because it's holding the mirror back, these screws are a fair size. They're going to go up into the end grain. So I've got to make sure that I put the right pilot hole size in. I don't want to come through the face. That's 28 millimeters. All right, I'm going to go with those. It's a bold choice. I was going to do new holes, but I've got a bit of slop there for me to be able to do this correctly. To do that, I'm going to slide. This is why I haven't anchored the table's top to the table yet. I've slid it past the back. Now I can put the box in position to where it's got to go, and I will put a clamp on it as well to hold it down onto here. I'm going to put a clamp there. Now, even though it's hanging off the back here, it doesn't matter because it's hanging off the back right the way across. And that's where it makes me think maybe I should drill another hole in here. Yeah, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to drill another hole. I'd hate for it to come up through the face. Even though it's buried behind the box, I don't want it to happen. My drill bits are over here. And as always, I keep my drill bits in the box upside down. I'm going to put the screw into the spot until I find the right size. I'm thinking that one. There we go. That's the right size for the hole down through the top. And I'm going to drill another hole. I don't have to line up with anything there. We'll just drill it straight through. I'm going to put a hole here, 12 millimeter. one. And there. Done. Put this box on. What I might do on the show today is do this part and then pop the other box on so you can see what it looks like, and then finish it off during the week, because I think we're going to run out of time. Come on. Now I've got to drill a pilot hole from the other side. That's sitting down beautifully. Absolutely beautiful. All right, I'm going to drill a pilot hole up from under there. I'm doing a quick test as to what size it's got to be. I think it's going to be that one. Move this out of the way. To get the pilot hole, what I do, see there's the screw, and that's the drill that I'm going to use. So I hold it. Now you might be able to see it against my shirt there. The trick is to line it up with something bright. Put it in front of me. Line up with something bright or white in the background, and just make sure that only the threads are poking out past the drill, not the core, the stem of the screw down the center. So that's the one I'm going to use. We're going to drill up through from underneath. I want to make sure it's the same length. It's just a little shy, so I'm going to bring it out a little. The end isn't going to worry me too much. There, that's going to be fine. Okay, drill a hole up through here. Where are we? That's that one there. That's that one. Get all that out. Clean the flutes, and then this one. And because I don't have an attachment for my drill to be able to drive these in, I'm going to have to do it by hand again. And if it doesn't work with that one, I might use the Stanley, which is a slightly thicker end on it. So we'll see how it goes. The turner. This is obviously easier if I was underneath. Go the bigger screwdriver. I think I'm going to have a better purchase without it slipping. Now that I've said that, it slips straight away. I might be putting one screw in. That's a lot of work. It's staying there. It hasn't split or anything. A countersink would have been a good idea as well. I think that's as far as we're going to go with that part. I'll take that off. There's a couple of screws on the front that need to go on as well. You're getting the idea of where we're at. Hang that back to there. And I will put a countersink in it. And I've got to put a couple of screws at the front. It's only just up. So there's tiny little screws here. So we'll do that now. And I think that's just about going to do us. The little screws for the front. I think I've got a couple there. Yes. Yep, let's try those. go for the turn up. Might just give me a little bit more purchase. Almost there. It should go in because the bottom of the drawer's got that lip on it. You haven't been watching what I've been doing. Okay, the bottom of the drawer's got a little lip on it, so it should slide over the top of that with ease. It needs to go down a little bit. It's holding it out. Of course it does. I might drill a pilot hole for the next one. There, that's got it down. That'll slide in. Beautiful. Okay, I'll pop the other drawer box on so you can see it, and put the other drawers in. That's there, like that. And other camera, I think. So you can see it there. Move this out of the way. All right, so there it is. It's looking beautiful. And the drawers in this side. So we've got, that's all there. The drawers at the front here, the one I've just cleaned up as well. Actually, that one goes in the bottom. They're all fitted. That goes perfectly. The other ones are over there. Can you see it or not? Give me a sec. Under the drill. Round and round. These are the right-hand side. I think that's the top one. Yes. And the bottom. Actually, it might go into the top over here. Nope. Put that one there. That's better. Let's see if this one will go over here. Nope. It's fitted for this one. Perfect. Perfect. There you go. It's going to be really, really nice. Give me a sec. I'll see if I can get a side shot of it with the other camera. There. And turn that like so, and up a touch. And then I'll get the mirror and put it where it's going to go from behind. I've still got to drill the holes in the supports here for these brass rods, but I've got to raise these mechanisms up another inch, maybe 2 inches. So I didn't want to do that today because it's going to take me a little bit of time to figure it out, but it's going to sit basically there, back a little. What do you think? What a shame I haven't got the, oh, I'm not going to leave it there. I'm going to tip it up a touch, up a little bit, so you can see the top, the frieze work, or the Flagstaff dressing that he's done on the top. Goes there. There you go. What a beautiful Australian cedar antique piece that's created within my family, for my family. And this, I was talking to Vicky, we may even put this in the lounge room. Because why not? This could be utilized for so many things. It's just lovely. Put it on show. Don't hide these things away. All right. I think that's going to do. I do a chat during the week. It's just a little kind of a lockdown chat at the moment. There's not a lot of timber stuff happens in it, woodworking. Maybe a little bit, you know, I do a little bit here and there on it. I'm looking around for the other mid-range specs. Here we go. And having a quick look. Has the mirror been restored? All I've done is done it with this stuff. That's all that I've done with it. It brings furniture back to life. I love it. Yep, she will love it. Yep, on show, Bob Lewin. That would make a great fly tying bench. Whatever floats your boat. I'm going to read my little list. Okay, so I had Nathan Coyle. Let's throw his stuff up. Now, Nathan sent a photo in to me of some chopping boards he's just made during the week. There you go. And also a wine bottle and 2 wine glass holders. How good is that? When is the chat this week, Dave? Daryl, it's always a Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock. That's 9 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. For people in Australia, around the world, you can find out where we are just by using a world clock and go to Sydney, Melbourne, Canberra, Brisbane, as far as what Australian Eastern Standard Time is, and that will tell it relative to you. Or if you're pretty switched on with a calculator, Greenwich Mean Time plus 10 hours. So we will be ahead. It'll be 11 at night for Greenwich Mean Time. That's when it'll be happening. So anywhere around the world, it could be, middle of the afternoon, morning, night, wherever you are. So 1 a.m. for you, Lenny. Well, man, oh man, this show is 3 a.m. So are you up is it 3 a.m. for you, Lenny, at the moment? It's a beautiful furniture. I don't know if it's round. Okay. Let me see. I think that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do have to shut the show down, and we're going to go over to a Zoom meeting with all of my patrons. If you want to become a patron, check the links down below and go into Patreon, and it's a subscription thing. If you want to do it, it's totally up to you. We're going to be chatting about what everyone's doing. I'm not going to be giving specific information about people's projects because that's another tier on Patreon. That's a special thing that I do for people that pledge to support me in a little way, and I will support them in a better way as well. All right. Okay, let me see. What have we got over here? Why isn't my mouse working? Has it got a flat battery? Possibly. I do this when a battery gets flat, and I tend to get another day or two out of it. There we go. It's working again. And here we go. Thanks to my patrons. And look after yourselves. Be nice to each other. And I shall see you next week, or if not, during the week. Bye.